on to Matt. It was actually Chris's suggestion for this flow surgery, Matt. So maybe let Chris do the introduction since he's here.
Hi, Matt. I've got a bit of a challenge. I have all these flows running, and every so often they just stop running, and I don't get to know about it until someone shouts, X isn't working. And there I go and start them again. And I was just thinking with my colleague, Alex, that what would be a good idea is if we had a flow that literally monitored the flows that were running and let us know when things are actually stopped working and send us some kind of alert. Then as a bonus thing, would be nice to actually just hit a button to restart them.
Yeah. I mean, that sounds like a very common scenario. I mean, I'm sure a lot of us have been in a situation before where flows or workflows stop or like fail for some reason, and we don't know until the users are jumping up and down at us. So we thought it'd be a great idea to do. And as if there are any new people in the room, the flow surgery is a community effort. It is not me telling you how to do something, because most of the time I'm probably not going to know the answer to it. So I have a vague direction of which I'm going to go with this, but I'm more of think of me more as a conductor. I'm going to kind of shepherd us all on this call through trying to find this answer and through trying to find the solution. So with that, let's get started. So I'll share my screen. So if you're not aware, I kind of tweeted out something the other day about this, which is the fact that flows will stop running. They'll stop running under certain circumstances. So if you actually go on the docs page here, limits and configure the expiration limits, they will stop running under certain circumstances. So circumstances being if you don't have a paid for license. So if you're using a free license or one of the Microsoft 365 plans, so not a Power Automate license or a Dynamics license or a Power Apps license. If your flow has no successful triggers within 90 days of inactivity, it'll turn off, which is not always great, because you may have those flows that run only once in a blue moon. Someone signs up, someone goes through a process or something like that. And there are some other limitations. So it's always good to be aware of these things, but let's see if we can make this a little better, because ideally the system should want to. And it does to a certain extent as well. I can't access the chat for some reason. Here we go. So one of the things that it should do is it should actually email the person who is the owner of the flow or a global admin to say that a flow is going to be switched off because of inactivity, but it doesn't always happen. So that's one of the things here. So in my environments, of which I have many environments here, I do have some flows that are switched off. So we have this one that's switched off. We have this one that says activity suspended. Some interesting. And we have some various other ones. Some are switched on, some are switched off, etc. Now, Power Automate and Power Apps do actually give us access to a couple of connectors. And we're going to play the guessing game of which connector do we need. Which is always a fun game. It's a little bit like noughts and crosses. So we're going to type power in, and we're going to try and figure out what the right connector is. So I think is it Power Automate? Because there's like 4. So there is Power Automate Management, Power Automate for admins. Should we go with management? Management sounds good. Create connection, create flow, list flows, list flow owners, list connections. Here we go. List my flows and list my environments. So there it might be this one, but we may want to see if we can see all of them. Let's go back a second, try the other one. By the way, if you do know the answer to this, feel free to shout out, come up to the front, show the class you're working. Let's try for admins. Admins, enable flows, remove flows. Nah, I don't think it's those. We'll try the other one for now. Power Automate. Go with this one. So we have list flows. So we do have a few. Let's try list my flows. So it's probably not going to do exactly what we want it to. Hold on. I'm pretty sure there's a different one. This is the problem with being too many connectors. Is it Power Platform? I'm sure there's another one. Sure, there's another one. It's hiding from me. Built in. Standard. Power. I'm sure there's one that looks like it's half Power Apps and half Power
There's one for
Automate.
Power Apps notification. Can you see that? Second row, second from the left.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a Power Platform admin one, isn't there?
Power Platform for admins. Ah, you have to click into it. See the thing. There we go.
It's changed its icon as well.
Yeah. List. So this is probably not the one we need because it has list locations and list environments, but it doesn't have list flows. So that's interesting. Let's try Power Apps. Nope.
Power Apps for admins. That second Power Apps one.
Is this?
Because you've got Power Platform and you've got Power Apps, haven't you?
Yeah, I don't think it's this one either. I'm pretty sure I looked at this a while ago, and it was here. Let's just see if I can figure it out from here. I'm pretty sure there was one that used to have a split color, unless they've removed it.
Because it's part of the Centre of Excellence flows, isn't it? That get installed with that. That uses it quite a lot.
Is that my Wi-Fi dropping out? I'm sure there's one with like a split color, but I think it's my might just be my imagination, and maybe they rebranded it.
No, there definitely was one. It was blue at the bottom and purple at the top.
Yeah.
Have rebranded it.
Let's go with the Power Automate one for now, anyway. If my list wants to update. Come on. Come on, computer. Let's go management. Cool. Create flows, list flows, list my connections, list my flows. Well, let's go with list my flows for now. Sign in authentication type. Let's go first party authentication. Cool. Environments. So it's going to ask me for my environment. Let's have a look in the Matt's demo environment, which should be the one that I'm in now. Let's just save this and trigger this. Let's test this out. Run. Done. Let's see what this brings us back. So it brings us back a bunch of the flows in my environment that I'm the owner of. So we can specify the environment and we can see flows. And we actually get some good details about the flows. What are they? They're a button. They've got some compose actions and stuff like that. That's really cool. And we can also see a state. So state is suspended there. So that's cool. So the name of my flow is Outlook Get Calendar, and the state is suspended. So if I go back to my flows,
Michael said there's a list of flows as admin. Michael said there's a list of flows as admin.
List flows as admin. That sounds about right.
I'm usually looking for an action instead of, looking for a connection, or, this way.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to try and fix my Wi-Fi so that I can actually hear people. List flows as admin, that's the one that I'm looking for. Have I just been missing that one in all my tests and all my looks? Should have just searched it. What? You're not going to bring me that one? There it is. Right at the bottom. Cool, here we go. Trucking with gas now. Just needs to find the right thing. So again, we'll just do that and we'll get rid of my flows, just that's no good. So list flows as admin. So that's going to probably look at everything that is a flow because I'm an admin, and you're probably not able to do this if you're not an admin. At least that's the hope, you suppose. Cool. And you also have a top as well. So that's handy. Let's try to bring us something. Let's try to bring us the same sort of information. So again, Outlook, get my calendar, we can see that's suspended. We can see information about it. We can see this one started. So I'm guessing started means on, suspended means off. Let's see if there's any. Let's see if I can load up my flows over here and see if we can get any other information. So we've got flow on, suspended, state started, started. So it looks like there's two states, suspended and started. Flows. So where's my Outlook one? So MS Forms. That's on. Outlook. Okay, calendar activity suspended. So where about my Scottish Summit one that I just turned off? Scottish Summit stopped. Okay, so there's three states that we know about. We know we've got suspended, stopped, and started. So started is everything that's on, waiting for a connection. Suspended is probably the one that we're looking for. So ones where they haven't been turned off manually and have actually just been suspended. So cool. Right, this is where we get really interesting. Try to remember stuff. So this comes back as an array, right? It's a list of things in an array. So theoretically, we should be able to filter the values by the state. So we want to say where the state, I can't see there, flow state, there it is equal to suspended. How you spell suspended? Suspended. Don't know if it's uppercase, lowercase, whether it matters, but we'll try that. So if I've done this correctly, and it's anyone's guess really, what that should hopefully do is filter and just give us a list of flows that have been suspended. So what we'll do is we'll create a HTML table, data operations. And we'll create a HTML table from the filtered list that comes out. Bodies probably. And we will give it a thing that says flow display name there. Flow name. And that's what we'll do for now. Actually, what we'll also do is we'll add the state in. State. It should be suspended, but we'll just add it in anyway. Let's test this and see if what I did was right or if I'm way off the mark. Let's do this. Run the flows. Flow ran successfully, yay, but did it filter the information we wanted? So let's expand this for a second. Show outputs. This should only ever show suspended states. Suspended. It says there's 4. That's cool. 4 suspended. Well, actually, probably more than that. Let's expand the HTML table. And oh, cool. Have a look at all of these flows that have been suspended. We have word templates. We have all these. So this is probably what we need, eh, Chris? We need a list of all the flows, flow names, and their states, or maybe some other information. So what other information do we gather from this thing here? We have things like environment. Sorry, what's that, Chris?
I was going to say, when it was suspended.
Yeah, flow suspension time is a thing. And there's also a flow suspension reason. Never trigger detected. Cool. Let's add a couple of those in as well. So, right, well, let's get rid of the state. Yeah, let's get rid of the state. Let's add suspended time, and we'll add in the no. It was called something like flow suspended time, wasn't it? Definition, status, modified time. That's interesting. It doesn't seem to give me that option there. That's weird. I wonder why. Oops. I don't think it's even something that we get from the rest of it. Okay. Well, if that is item properties display name, let's copy that. Let's duplicate this tab. We're going to do some hackety hacking with workflow expression language. Because if it comes back in the JSON, then that means we can use it, regardless of actually if it's in the dynamic content or not. All we need to know is the actual name for it. So the field name. Come on. I apologize for how slow my laptop has decided to run tonight. Did I create this in a solution? I don't know. Who knows? Who knows these things, Paddy? Who knows? Buttons list my flow. Oh, there we go. Right there at the top where I couldn't see it. So, flow ran successfully. Yay. Come in here and right. So it's in. Okay. Flow suspension time is what we want. And that is in the properties. So I wonder if I need to do another filter down to the properties. No, that's properties there, which is fine. Flow suspension time. No, we need to get rid of the braces. And that hopefully should give us a flow suspension time. And we'll go suspension reason. See, this is why I work with flow, because I don't know how to spell. So you can see my lovely spelling as I try and type things while people are watching. And that's why I never became a writer. We'll choose this one, and we'll choose this one, and we'll get rid of the braces again. So basically all this is saying is we're going to, because it's not coming back to us in the JSON, in the dynamic content, if it's in the JSON, it should theoretically be something that we can get. This may end horribly, but we'll try it again. And it may be something we can bring back. So it may or may not work. We'll test it. It may say, no, can't find that property. That might be because the thing that we're creating the HTML table for doesn't want to let us bring that property through. Run the flow. Create table. Oh, look at this. Look at this. It's almost like I knew what I was doing all along, eh? So we've got, yeah, that's awful. Okay. So let's just format this a bit more nicely. Format. Oh, come on. You know, IntelliSense me. Format. Date time. And then we're gonna put this in here. Here. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna say we want it in day / month / year. Put some brackets around that. And just make it a little bit neater for us. Pow. And then it's trying to error because I did something wrong. What did I do wrong? It's removed my my thingamajig, my apostrophe. How rude. Or I just didn't put it there. It's cool. Right, let's do this. We need to then send an email. Outlook. Send an email. Chris, what's your personal email address that you never give to anyone ever?
Christos.
Flows that failed. That stopped. And then we just go in here and we whack the output of the HTML table into there, and it should email me theoretically. So let's test it. Test, save and test. So instead of the manual trigger, what I would probably do is have this running on a schedule. So run on a daily basis each day to check and give me a list of the flows that failed. And then have a condition that basically says if the HTML table contains data, then send it to me, else just don't do anything, it's fine. Done, and then we go in here, click this button. You ever feel like you work a lot faster than your computer does? I feel that all the time. Not sure if it's the computer or the platform, but one or the other. I'm
it's obviously you, Matt. It's you. You're just that fast.
So you know the old joke about like the Flash, like how does he take his coffee, milk, and 37 sugars? I kind of feel like that sometimes. Like I've had a coffee with milk and 37 sugars. And this said it ran successfully. Yay! And look, it's formatted the nice daytime stuff, and it's done all this. And then eventually you can see the email pop up here. Did that. And did I just hit delete there? No, come on. You can do it. You can do it, little Energizer Bunny. You can do it. Pray with me, people. Oh, God, so long-winded, isn't it? Come on. Oh well, no, undo. I knew I hit that button. Let's try and click things. Oh, did you delete my item? I really don't like my computer today. It's not working as quickly as I want it to. And now is it actually undid the thing? Come on. No. Did it delete it? Oh, come on. I just wanted to show a nice email. And it's just... Ah, there we go. It's back. Here we go. So, wow, that's a lot of flows. So you can make this a bit nicer, and you can probably pull some more details through, because we do get a few bits of data here, like the display name we have, when it was last modified on. So that sometimes might be a good indication as to why it's failed. Maybe someone's changed something and broken a trigger. just give you nice details of like what's in the flow as well. So like uses the Get Calendars View API to find out what's on my Outlook calendar, and then does for each, and there's a compose and compose. So it's actually quite a lot of useful information. So we've kind of solved the first part of it. Michael says, should it be possible to trigger the approval instead of email for each flow suspended? When approved, enable the flow back. But from the other side, it might be a pain getting approvals every day. yeah, that's actually a pretty good thing, because although we're trying to show you how to turn them back on, hopefully, it may be a case of maybe you don't want that flow to be turned on. At the moment, we're only filtering and we're only running this on flows that are suspended. So we do have that suspended and stopped. So if there is a reason for it to be stopped, you can just do it that way, and you can create your paths and create your filters. So let's try the next bit then. So I'm definitely sure I saw the turn flow back on button before. Flows, Power Automate for admins. Nope, it was definitely the other one, because I was choose the wrong one. Isn't it annoying that you type Power Automate in and it like the connectors on like the second row that you want that has the word Power Automate right there in the start? So turn on flow. Here we go. This is what we want. So it's going to ask us for an environment and for a flow. So if you are working with multiple environments that you want to monitor, you can pass that data through. I know that I'm going to be going from this environment. So what I will do is I will just choose Matt's demo. But you could also just choose an add custom one and then pull through my environment from up here somewhere. Environment. Store it somewhere, but I know I'm just trying to go from this one, so that's fine. And then it's asked me for the flow. So the flow is a lookup to this. So all of these appear to have a GUID. So I'm assuming that it's the GUID that we need to pass back to it. Now, the first thing is I don't actually want to turn on like 20 flows or however many are in my email here. That's quite a lot of flows. Maybe I just want to turn on 2 or 3. So I'm just going to limit this for the test. So we'll put a top count of 3 in here, which will just bring back those top 3. Theoretically, you probably wouldn't want to do that, but I'm just doing the 3s. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add custom value into here, and the flow is required. So I'm assuming it's the GUID out. So what is the GUID? Is it just name? Name might be what we want. Name appears to be a GUID. Appears to be the unique identifier. Unlike ID, which appears to be several identifiers. So I'm going to guess its name. So we'll go with name. So we'll pass in flow name. Yeah, there we go. I'll just do this again. So because I put the because it detected that there would be more than one, it's gone ahead and had a little hissy fit flow name. Cool. And it's put an apply tweets around it. So that's your AI driven authoring experience in Power Automate, where we're getting that apply tweets around it. So it's going to loop through and then add these to all the flows. Another thing that I should probably point out that I've noticed recently is sometimes when you add custom values in and you're using the new experimental editor like I'm using, so like if you click somewhere and you get these buttons instead of the big flyout that you would usually get, that's the experimental editor. I have found that sometimes when you save your flows and you come back to them and you've put in a custom value, especially in things like option sets, it will just go, nah, don't care. And then you click into it and it's like, it's actually there, it just doesn't show you that it's there. So don't worry, I've like re-added it several times and switched back and forth between the editor and it's actually there fine. So let's test this out. So it's going to run through and hopefully update my top 3 flows and turn them back on. And the values that I'm passing it are the ones that are pre-filtered. So it's not going to try and turn on any flows that are already on. It's just going to try and turn on the ones that are suspended. And we'll see if this works. I can't imagine there being any reason it wouldn't work, but we will find out. List flows, run the flow. Flows running. Oh, yeah, green ticks. Yay. Okay, it says turn that on. I'll turn that on. So it seems to have only found 2 flows, but seems to suggest it's turned them on. So first, that's a bit weird. It's only found. And I'm back. Sorry about my terrible Wi-Fi tonight. But yeah, as I was saying, it's strange it's only found 2 flows to turn on. I said top 3, I thought. And it's only turned on 2, or, you know, weird things can happen when I'm doing stuff. Right, okay, so, here we go. This was one of the ones that was switched off, the Outlook Get Calendar. It was the first one in my entries up here, Outlook Get Calendar. It was suspended, and now it is switched back on. It says instant is right there. Let's have a look. What would be the next one, theoretically? MS Forms. MS Forms is switched back on. That was another one that was suspended, according to this. Oh, no, sorry, that was started. That's my mistake. Here we go. Variables. Okay, so that's the reason why it only turned on 2 flows. So there should be one called variable flows as well, because I only listed the top 3 to come back. 1 was started, 1 was, and 2 was suspended. So it's only updated to 2 because that's when we filtered it at that point. So where is my variables flow? I don't know which order it turns these, like, it shows these things in. Maybe like last.
You're there.
Sorry, what was that?
You were there. You literally, you're hovering over the variables flow.
There it is. I switched back on. So we can see it's switched on. So yeah, and see there's no flow runs in the last 28 days, but it's switched on. Everything's good to go. It's an instant flow, which is probably one of the reasons why it's been switched off, because it's a manual flow. So I'm not triggering it every like few days or every 90 days, and it's got switched off. So to summarize, so there is a way to do this. So there is all the different flows that are there in your environment, and there is a way to see it switched off. So what I would do is create a schedule for this to run every 1 day. We use the list flows as admin. We then do a filter array, and we'll filter that value from here by the flow state equal to suspended. So those are the ones that are switched off by Microsoft, not ones that have been stopped and not ones that are running. So we filter that. We then create a HTML table. We use some nifty workflow expression language manipulation, because it wasn't given us the flow suspension time or the suspension reason. So we do that, and we just format it a bit neater so it's nice and easy. And then we send an email to me to say, hey, these are the flows that have stopped. You could always put like today's date on the end of it or something like that. And then for the bonus points for Chris, we then turn the flows back on, and we just loop through and then switch them all back on. As I said, if what I would probably do as well is I would probably have another step here, and I would have a condition, and my condition would be length. No, what do I want? I want empty. And I want if this filter array is empty. No, let's not do empty. Let's do length. That's easier. If this filter array body is greater than or equal to 1, then we do everything. Let's do that now. Let's do that now. So this is just saying, right, okay, if what we filtered returns a value that is greater, so this formula or this expression gives me a length of the array. If the length of this is greater than 1, so if it has a value, it'll be greater than 1, then do this, else do nothing, because you don't want a blank email every day. And that's it. Let's test that. Do this and find out this doesn't work. After all the other complex stuff we did. And yeah, this is a handy way to keep on top of your flows to make sure that they're not stopping for any reason. And also just being notified about things.
So I was going to say, Matt, if the answer is no, you may want to send an email saying everything's fine, I guess.
Yeah.
Because obviously the flow that you're running to test the flows might fall over as well.
Yeah. And yeah, it's actually done its job because we've only brought back the top 3 and we've turned on all those 3. So if I do, I don't know, top 6, else create an email, send email. Send an email to me again. Everything is awesome.
What Michael said was pretty cool, where you could have some sort of adaptive card thing with the list of the flows and some buttons on there, or buttons.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, so this one is just going to turn them on automatically, but as you say, you could put an approval flow in here that sends an approval to someone and gets them to manually check it. Yeah, an adaptive card is a great idea, Paddy, as well. Cool. And again, it's found nothing. It's found nothing in the array this time. So again, there's nothing there. I'm just going to sit back and drink my pina colada. Yeah, there we have it. That is how to set up a flow to check to see whether your other flows are running or not, be notified if they're not running, and switch them back on. And there we go.
That's awesome. Thanks, Matt.
No worries.
Right. You didn't even break a sweat there. Well, at the start it did, but
what's that about? It started off a bit rocky because I couldn't find the right connector, but you know, eventually it's fine.